So in this virtual session, we will continue with the chapter number 4, Client-Side Programming, the JavaScript language. Yes, you should study from modified slides. So modified slides represent a reduced content. For example, chapter number 4, the original one, contains 150 slides, but the reduced content contains only 74 or 75. You are welcome. Okay, so in this session we will continue with chapter number 4, client-side programming, the JavaScript language. And before starting this session, I will ask you some questions to review all the topics covered in the previous session. So my first question is about the topic client-side programming. So what's the meaning of client-side programming? Why we say that JavaScript is a client-side programming? So client-side programming, that means writing code that will be run on the client side. So JavaScript is a scripting language, and this language can be considered as a client-side programming and can be executed or interpreted by the browser. So the browser represents our client. For example, here, if we talk about PHP, PHP is a server-side programming. But JavaScript in our case is a client-side programming because the execution of this code is done on the client side with the browser. It is clear? Okay. Second question, what is the extension, the file extension of JavaScript, of JavaScript code? File extension. Very good. .gs. So GS is the extension of the JavaScript code. Third question. So to make input-output in JavaScript, we can use what for input-output? We can use alert and prompt. Very good. Alert and prompt. So alert and prompt are provided by the browser and not by JavaScript engine. Okay. Why? Because JavaScript in JavaScript you cannot find input-output method. So the JavaScript language has no input-output statement. Good. How many types we can find in JavaScript? How many types? Not two. More than two data types. So we can find number, we can find string, we can find boolean, we can find null, we can find undefined and object. So six. JavaScript has 6 data types. Okay. So what is the meaning of type of operator? Type of. So in JavaScript we use type of operator. type of. So type of is an operator, and this operator returns a string related to data type. Return the type of any variable. For example, here I, the type of I is undefined. The type of G is a string. So if we have a variable and we want to know the type of this variable, we use the operator type of. It's clear? Okay. Let's move now to JavaScript functions. So in this session, we will learn how we can create a function in JavaScript. So in Java, for example, these functions are, what is the name of function in Java, not JavaScript? We say that we create objects, and for this objects we will create attributes and what? And methods. So here we will learn how we can create function. It is clear for you the meaning of function? Okay. So in JavaScript, if we want to create a function, the declaration always begins with the keyword function. And in JavaScript, we don't specify the return type. Not clear the meaning of a function? Okay. So in programming, we can create function. So what's the meaning of function? The function can be, for example, I have instruction 1, instruction 2, and instruction 3. And after that, this is a function x with some arguments. So what's the meaning of a function and why we create this function in programming? So a function, it is a set of many instructions to perform a special topic or a special thing. An example of a function, for example, here we can create a function. Sorry, do you hear me? Okay, so this is an example of a function. This function has a name. For example, name is sum. Also, this function has input, the input of function x and y. And the function has an output. For example, in our case, the output is the sum of x and y. So why we create this function? We create this function to perform the sum of any variable x plus another variable y. So when we will create this function, we will write function sum x, y, return x plus y. After that, in the program, in the principal program, we can write, for example, sum 5, 6, sum 7, 8. For example, here I will write x equal or W1 equal sum of 5 plus 6, W2 equals sum 7 plus 8. Yes, so here in our case, the function is a block of code for executing a specific tasks. And why I have to create this function? To avoid to write all this block for each instruction. So here in JavaScript, if I want to create a function, I have to make declaration of this function using the function keyword. So this is a JavaScript keyword. Okay, it's clear? Good. After that, after the keyword function, I have to specify an identifier representing function name. So what is the function name in my example here? One, two. Okay, very good. After that, I will specify formal parameter list. So in my example here, I have only one parameter. Hi, yes. So in the previous example, sum, I have two parameters, x and y. After that, I will make one or more statements representing the function body. So in my case here, I will return mat.cell mat.random equal height. This is a statement, and return, that means this function will return this value. It is clear? So for example, if I write function, I will create another example. Here I will write function max xy begin if x is more than y, return x, else return y. So in this function, return is the function. So here, for example, in this function returns the maximum of two variables, x or y. So if x more than y, return x. That means this function max will return the value of x. So what's the meaning of return? Else this function returns the value of y. Yes, that means the output, not display, the output. That means here in In my example, I will write, for example, max 10, 12. So max 10, 12 return what? 12. So I can assign this value to another variable w. So when I write w equal max 10, 12, that means the value of w will be 12. So the function max return 12. Yes. If I will write z equal max 3, 2, so in this case the value of z will be 3 and the function max return 3. So the output of this function will be 3. It is clear? Okay. So after that I make function call. So here, for example, I write thinking of equal 1 to 1000. So this is a function call. Function call is an expression, can be used on right hand side of assignment as expression statement. It is clear here? Any questions about functions? So keep in mind that in JavaScript, to create a function, we will use the keyword function, the name of this function, the parameters of functions, begin, and after that we can add a return and return what? Return, for example, here we will calculate a value based on math.self and math.random. After that, this value will be returned by this function. Any questions about function? Okay, so function call semantics details. For arguments, may be expression. So this is an expression. So we can write 1 to 1000. This is a value. But also we can write an expression. It is clear? So formal parameters may be assigned values, argument is not affected. And for return value, if last statement executed is not return value, then returned value is of type undefined. What's the meaning of? So here, for example, if I have function x, y, w, I have many statements. After that, I have return a value here. So the type of the return function is this type. This is represent the type of the return. So if the return is a number, the function return a number. If the return is an object, the function return an object, etc. It is clear? Do you hear me? Okay. So also in the function we cannot specify return statement. So here we can, for example, remove this return statement. In this case, the type of this function will be undefined. If we remove the return statement, the type will be undefined. Let's move now to the number mismatch between argument list and formal parameter list. So if we have more arguments, access ignored. If we have fewer arguments, remaining parameters are undefined. Any questions? It is clear this point about arguments? Okay. Let's move now to the difference between local and global variables. So in this example, we have one variable. What is the name of this variable? Yes. So this variable, the value of this variable equals 6. So when we write a program, a JavaScript program, variable j equals 6, this variable is a global. So global. Global, that means for all the program. Okay? After that, we have also prepared a function. So what's the name of this function? Test. Very good. And how many arguments in this function? How many arguments? 0. No, 0. No one. Yes, 0. After that, in this function, we write a variable g. So variable g here, g is a variable and is a local variable. Okay, so we have the same name. So this function modify the value of g. G equal 7. So what's the meaning of test like this instruction? What's the meaning of this instruction? What represents this instruction? This is a call to the function. Yes, we will call the function test. That means we will execute the function test. So in this case, the value of g will be 6 or 7. So in the beginning, variable g equals 6. After that, when we call test, normally the value of g will be modified to 7. Okay? But here, in the function, the output here will be 6, not 7. Why? Because g here is a local variable. So the modification of g will be local, only on function. After that, when we write window.alert g will be 6, not 7. It is clear? Not clear? Okay. Okay. So here in this case, we want to explain the difference between local and global variables. Okay. So in this example, we use the same name of variable g equals 6 in the program and g equals 7 in the function. So keep in mind that when we write variable g equals 6 in the program, this variable is global variable, and this variable is local variable. So what is the difference? When we write here window.alertg in the program, the reference will be to the global variable, not to local. So the modification of g when the variable is local is just in the function, but in our program, g will be not modified. So keep in mind that if we have global variable and local in the function, when we will display this variable, we will use the global one, not the local. So the difference here is between g in the function and g in the program. G in the program is a global variable and g in the function is a local one. It is clear now? So the question is, if we want to modify this variable to 7, we want that function test modify the variable of g from 6 to 7. So in this case, we have to specify that we want to modify the global variable, not the local one, and we write window.g in the function. So when we write window.g equals 7, that means window.g, that means we want to modify the global variable g. Okay? And in this case, the output will be 7, not 6. It is clear? So the goal of this example is to explain how we can make reference to global variables in JavaScript. So if we want to reference a global variable to JavaScript in a function, we write window.thisVariable. Yes, window is related to program, yes. Window.g equals 7. Good. So we can find some predefined function like boolean, string, number, and each one takes a single argument, return value representing argument converting according to type conversion rules given earlier. So when we say window dot, that means the variable is global. That means this window dot, that means we will modify the global variable, the variable of the program. And in our case, for this reason, G will be modified to 7. Let's move now to objects, how we can create objects. So in Java, for example, we will create a class, and after that, for example, class student, and in this class we will define attributes of student name, age, etc. We will also modify. We will also define some methods, and after that we can create an instance of this class, and we will obtain an object, and after that we can modify the attribute of this object. We can call some methods on this object, etc. So in JavaScript, the manner to create this object is very simple. So there are no classes in JavaScript. Okay, and properties can be created and deleted dynamically. For example, if I want to create a new object, I just write variable o1 equal new object, and my object is created. After that, I want to add an attribute to this object, so I write o1.testing equal this is a test. After that, I want to delete this property. I will write delete o1.testing. It is clear, this example for you? This is another example. So I want to create a student. I write variable student equal new object. So I create an object student. After that, I want to add property to this student. So I write student dot, for example, property name. Student dot name equal Ahmed. So this is yes. After that, I want to add another property. Student dot age equal 20. This is another property. But I want to remove this property. I want to remove this property. I want to remove it. I will just write delete student.age. It is clear how we can create. So to delete a property. Good. So objects are created using new expression, a new object. And object is a constructor. A constructor is a function when called via new expression. A new empty object is created and passed to constructor along with the argument values. And constructor performs initialization on object, can add properties and method to object, can add object to an inheritance hierarchy, etc. So the object building constructor building, that means this constructor is provided by JavaScript. Does not add any properties or method directly to the object, and adds object to hierarchy that defines default toString and value of methods. So that means when we create an object, I can use the method toString and the method value of directly. So assignment to a non-existent property name creates this property. For example, when I write o1.testing equals this is a test, that means the testing does not exist for the object o1. For this reason, this property will be created. Object initializer. So notation can be used to create an object using object constructor and one or more properties in a single statement. So this is a second manner to create an object. Variable old to equal p1 5 plus 9 p2 null testing. This is a test. So what is the name of my object in this example? O2, yes. This is the name of my object. How many properties has this object? 2, 3. Very good, not 2, 3. This is the first one. This is the second one, and this is the third one. 3 properties. The value of the first property is the value of the first property. The value of P1 is 14, very good. The value of P2 is null, and the value of the third property is, this is a test. So for our example here, Ahmed, for my example student, I can create this student using this manner. So I will write student equal, this is my object, name Ahmed, age 20. It is clear? So keep in mind that to create an object in JavaScript, there are 2 manners. We can create object using new object, the built-in constructor. After that, we can add properties by dot notation. And the second manner is to create this object by using all the properties and all the values in the same instruction. It is clear? Good. So if we have an object, so here in my example, I prepare object. The name of this object is hash, and after that I write hash.kim equal hash.sum equal hash.len equal. So in this, yes, here we don't use, in the previous example I don't use new object because there are 2 manners to create an object. So in my previous example, this is the first manner. This is the first manner, and this one is the second manner. So I can create this object by 2 manners, using new object or using the second manner. So in this example, if I want to display the value of the property, I can use for variable, the name of variable in the name of object. So for variable, this is the name of the variable. After that, in the name of the object. Window.alert ename is a property of hash. So I will obtain what here? I will obtain Kim is a property, Sam is a property, len is a property. So the JavaScript object dot notation is actually shorthand for a more general associative array notation in which strings are array indices. So for example, if I want to get the value of the property key of the object hash, I can write hash.key. Also, I can use the array notation hash key. It is clear? So for my example, I can write for the example of student, if I want to get the age of my student, I can write student dot age, or I can also write student age like this. It is clear? Okay, so the value of object is reference to an object. For example, if I write var o1 equal new object, o1.data equal hello, that means here I have o1 reference to data equal hello. After that, when I write a variable o2 equal o1, that means o2 has a reference to the same data. After that, if I add word, I will obtain hello world for o1 or o2. So let's move now to another things. So here for object methods, let's move to JavaScript arrays. And this is an important part in JavaScript chapter. So your attention please. So the array built-in object can be used to construct objects with a special properties and that inherit various methods. So how we can create an array? We can write variable array1 equal new array. This is the manner to create an array. It is clear? Okay. After that, the array built-in object can be used to construct objects with special property and that inherit various methods. We can write a variable array2 equal new array for true. Okay. So in this case, I will create the array and I will add the values of this array. So array2, in my case, how many for array2? How many elements we can find in array2? 3. Very good. The first one is for, the second one is true, and the third one is okay. So the first element is a number, the second element is a Boolean, and the third element is a string. Okay, so if I write array1, array2 what is the value of array2 array2 not 1, array2 true. Very good, true, because here we have the index 0, 1, 2. Okay, I can write array2 1 with 1 as a string. but I cannot write array2.1. This is a mistake. It is clear? Good. So the array constructor is indirectly called if an array initializer is used. So we can create my array with variable array2 equal new array for true. Okay. Okay. So this is an array. I have three parts, three elements for true and okay. So if I want to get the first element here, I can write this element. I can write array2. The name of array, array2. After that, here the index 0. Or I can also write array2, the index 0 as a string. But I cannot write array2 dot 0. Array2 dot 0 is a mistake. Yes. So this is a second manner to create an array. So we can use this manner or this one. So I can write a variable array3 equal for true. Okay. Okay. This is a matrix. So for this array is a multidimensional array with row and columns. So if I use only one value, so for example here in my array I have how many elements? I have 1, 2, 3. So the first one is array2 0, array2 1, array2 2. So if I write array2 3 like this, in this case, this instruction will create a new element dynamically increases value of length. So the value of length will be increased. Okay, so if I write, for example, array2 4 equal high, so the length will be not 4, will be 5, etc. Also in array, if I write variable array equal new array 200, one argument, if I write only one argument, this argument is the length of the array. The length, not the first value. The length. It is clear? So for example, I write a variable array equal new array 5. So 5 is not the first value of the array, it's the length of this array. That means this array contains 5 elements. So there are many methods in arrays. This is an example of how we can use this method. After that, there are many other built-in objects. So, for example, we can find a string, a boolean, and number. Date is a built-in object. So, date is a built-in object. We can use this built-in object to manipulate dates. And we can also use math. Math is a built-in object. It is clear? So this is the last slide of our chapter.